Good evening. Hello, everyone. Whoa, 16,000 people already. Let's keep it going. Okay, so I've been doing this little thing. Started the other night with modest golf player Tyrrell Hatton. And I wanted to keep it going, I think, just because I've got some spare time. I know there are, like we all do, I know there are people out there that want to watch me on Instagram Live, whether it be people listen to me playing tunes like I did last night, or this kind of thing where I've been like just chatting to people, and whether it be a sports person, obviously the first couple have been first couple are going to be sports people. It might end up being actors or just kind of singers or just people I know. And it's more of like it's kind of like I've got questions and I've got like little talking points, but just more of like a chat. And if you're interested in football or golf or acting or singing or something like that, it might be something that you want to listen to. Obviously, I don't know what you're into, but I know what I'm into, and I know that other people are into similar stuff. So I started off with Tyrrell the other night, and tonight, I've been speaking to Mr. Aaron Ramsey. Aaron is an unbelievable footballer. He's had an unbelievable career, starting out at Cardiff City, and then going on to Arsenal at a very young age, making his debut there under Arsene Wenger. Played in European Championships for his country, Wales, and had a very decorated career at Arsenal, in some great teams, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But and also his recent move to Juventus in Italy. They're currently sitting top of the league, so that's an interesting topic as well. He's also into music. He's into golf, like myself, and yeah, I know the guy. He's a lovely fella. And you're going to see a very nice fella, very lovely family man, loves his football, loves his golf, loves his music. And yeah, I've got some little talking points. I've literally made little bullet points here on my phone, and I'll touch on some stuff. But we'll go off cuff. It'll be a bit of a laugh. Let's see what happens. Let's get Aaron in here. 20,000 people watching. This should be a good time. Let's have a look for Aaron. Where is he? Let's have a look. There he is. He's watching. Aaron!
How are you doing?
What's happening, Paul? How's it going?
Not bad.
Welcome to my show.
Thank you, mate.
How's things anyway? How are you doing?
Not bad. Another busy day with the kids and the family, but no, good. The weather's been good, which has helped. So we've been able to get out in the back garden and stuff. But no, all good. Keeping us busy now.
Yeah, no. To be fair, the weather is good here as well. Like, it's been 23 or 4 today, I think, and it's going to be good tomorrow. I'm lucky I've got a bit of a balcony, so I can get out in that. But it's been it hasn't been the most fun. But how are things with the? It must be. I know you've got 3 lads, don't you?
Yeah, 3 boys running
that
wild.
Sounds like a great laugh.
Yeah, so we got a little paddling pool today, so I blew that up, and then got the boys in there. So that sort of wasted a few hours. But no, it was all good laugh. So
good stuff. Right, obviously there's going to be a lot of people watching that are football fans, I'd imagine. Well, I hope so. I would like to think so, that out of 19,000 people, a lot of people like football. But for those who don't know yourself, Aaron, if you don't mind me, I've explained a little bit before you come on, but Aaron has had an unbelievable career, very well decorated, winning FA Cups, coming out of his ears. Had some mad injuries as well over the years, and he's come back from them and is now has played European Championships for Wales, and then obviously gone on to play for Juventus, and we'll get to that along the way as well. But yeah, so obviously being top of the league at this time of the year is a good place to be, even if it is only a point. How's that? How do you feel about the football season where it is and how it's going to finish up?
Well, obviously, yeah, that's one of the main reasons I come here, is because I wanted to come and win things, win league titles, challenge for Champions League and things. So yeah, obviously that's a nice position to be in at the moment. But yeah, it's all sort of a mad situation at the moment, isn't it? So nobody knows what's going to happen now. I know they're talking about maybe extending the lockdown until May the 3rd, I think I read. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But we're sitting top. I'm loving the football at the moment. You know, I'm started to get into play my position and doing well. So yeah, it was a bit of I was just starting to do that as well. So that was a bit of a thing for me where this come at the wrong time. But
yeah, I guess the way you have to look at it is, I've had issues in what I do as well, and cancelling tour and things like that. And you just have to remember that those things are like a side project for a lot of people, and there's a lot worse happening around the world than what we do, I suppose. But still sad at the same time.
Of course, yeah. So you're meant to be touring right now?
Yeah, I was starting next week. Starting in Nashville next week. The 20th we were starting. So what's that, about 10 or 11 days from now? So yeah, bit of a shame, but actually a huge shame. But when it's completely out of your control as well, you don't feel as if you could control it in some shape or form, you wouldn't feel as bad. But exactly. Yeah.
That must be so frustrating. You spent all that time writing something up, and then all of a sudden this hits you for 6 sort of thing. But
literally, it took 15 months to write the album and write and record the album and get all the preparations of how I was going to promote it and stuff like that. And then the week the album comes out, it's good. Shut down. You're going nowhere. Everyone's locked at home. But that's just, as I said, that's just the way it is. I was just thinking about it there. I'd say the first time we properly met and had a chat was Ryder Cup Paris.
Yeah,
I remember yourself, your age of Dave, and from Avid, and the Ox coming in to the. I was in the tour or in the team room after the boys won the Ryder Cup. I mean, what a day that was! As a golf nerd, as 2 golf nerds chatting here, I mean, it couldn't get any better.
Oh man, it was incredible. I got it just for the final day. We were sitting on a bit of a healthy lead when we got into the last day, so I was just buzzing for the whole experience. And then going on to that first tee, and the noise that the crowd were making there. I don't know how they could tee the ball up and hit. I don't know how they managed to do that, but it was just incredible. A great day. Followed a few people around, a few beers sunk as well, but
same, yeah. I think when we met, we were fairly well on it.
Yeah. But yeah, it was obviously then spoke to Mark, and he managed to get us in there as well. So that's when I bumped into you boys in there then.
Yeah. It was unbelievable. The atmosphere in the room, I think if you're a sports fan or a music fan, you want to know what they do in the dressing room. You want to know what they're doing before the gig, after the gig, before the game, after the game, what goes on. And as a golf nerd, I want to know what happens in a Ryder Cup team room after it. And we're very lucky to be in a winning team room. I thought that was one of the better days of my life, to be honest.
Yeah, man, it's incredible. It's looking back on that, that's such a privilege to be there in that moment, so exactly. To take that in and to actually digest it, we realize how lucky we were on that day to be a part of that.
Yeah, and I won awards and sold albums, and you won cups, and yourself and Ox, the 3 of us were kind of just standing around, just being like, this is just insane. Because when it's not your thing, you're just like, God.
Yeah, you're in awe. You're in awe.
Yeah. I was also thinking I think we were meant to play some of, do you know, I've got a glass of rosé here. I was going to tip into it. I think Maka was telling me that you and I were meant to play together at the BMW.
Yeah.
I think it was like 2017. Did you win the cup that year? Did you?
Yeah.
And I swear, did you not beat Chelsea?
So.
Did you score?
Yeah, that was, yeah. We beat Chelsea that season. So, that year, I think.
I mean, it's not
was
a bad reason.
Or 2018, I don't know.
I mean, when you've got this many FA Cups as you can just kind of leave a couple of them behind. But you've obviously, you win 3.
Yeah, 3.
And you've scored winning goals in a couple.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad day out in the sun, is it, really, at Wembley? You had the chance to play golf with me. You had to go and ruin it by going playing.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was busy that day doing something else. But no, it was, to actually live your sort of boyhood dream. To, when you're having a kickabout with your mates in the park and you're thinking, this is the FA Cup, I'm going to score the winner, and then you dribble it, and then to actually go out there and do that, it's just an amazing feeling. And I've lived my childhood dream. So and to do that again,
I know.
I don't know.
I was just thinking, I think people obviously have a perception when footballers are at that level of profession, they have a very stern face. They've got a very much of a game face on. And then listen to you talk about this now, I think is unbelievable. As a football fan, grew up my whole life, been to many a football game, giving out about players and blah, 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 blah. And their boyhood dream is to go to Wembley and lift an FA Cup or score in a final, and you've done it. And hearing you talk about it now is pretty sweet as a football fan. So I'm sure if there's people listening to this to be buzzing. So how are you keeping fit? How's that going?
I've just been, doing the programs that they've sent over, keeping fit most days. And, but it's not the same as training or, playing games is where you have no worries about, putting on weight or anything like that. So,
I know.
It's difficult because my wife, she likes to cook and.
Yeah, I know she's big into bacon and stuff, isn't she?
Yeah. And I like to eat. So it's not a good combination. So. No, yeah, but when I'm back at it, I'm pretty strict. But at the moment, it's difficult. I got all the kids' biscuits, and I'm just raiding that every time I'm gonna have a cup of tea or something. So.
How old are the
lads? One's 4, and the twins are 18 months.
I seen you you were doing some sort of hand painting the other day. It looked like a great idea, as you said.
Yeah, it started off as a good idea, but I'm quite funny with things like that. Even when they're eating their foods or something, I've always got to be on it and clean the little mess up. And then I've just got paint everywhere. So yeah, it started off a great idea, but then everyone ended up in the bath. Then afterward, I just chucked them straight in.
Do you live in the city in Turin, or do you live outside? Or
yeah, we just live on the hill overlooking the city. So literally, it takes us 5 minutes to get in. But yeah,
a garden.
Yeah, so we've got a garden, which is quite lucky, and obviously the weather's nice, so we've been out in there.
Fair enough. It's good, handy, because I know a lot of people have kids. I was thinking about this whole scenario. And I have kids, or I don't have to worry about that. You're just saying, having kids and trying to keep them entertained, and being with them for that long must be madness.
No, I was thinking people who are sort of stuck in apartments with no balcony or terrace or garden or something and they've got 3 or 4 kids. I feel for them. For them people.
It's laughable, but it's not even a laughing matter.
No.
So there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
It's just crazy what's going on. I was just, let me have a think now. I mean, man, I suppose it's better off starting at the start. Where football-wise, did you play for a local? You're from Caerphilly, yeah?
Yeah.
Caerphilly?
Yeah, Caerphilly. Philly boy.
You played for a local side first?
I played for a team in Cardiff actually called the Earth, which is a Welsh team.
Does that translate or not? Does it translate from the Earth to anything English? No.
I don't know.
God knows.
No.
I've cornered you with that question because I get with the Irish thing. People corner me and like, I haven't got a clue.
No, I'm good now. But yeah, it's just a Welsh-speaking team, and that's where I started off. That's where it all began.
And then you, what age did you get trialed for? You started playing for Cardiff City, didn't you?
Yeah, so that was at 8. But then I actually signed with them on my 9th birthday into the youth system there. So yeah, I was with them since I was 8, really.
And did you grow up in like, when you were really young, did you grow up in like an estate where lads, like, there were loads of mates playing football and you just figured, I tell you what, I'm better than this lot? Or
no, I didn't really. You know, I used to always drag my dad over to the park every time, like, you come home from work or something. I'd be like, right, Dad, get your boots on, we're off. We're going to go and play. But I suppose some of my mates, you know, we used to play, you know, on the green and stuff. But very rarely. It was, you know, being Welsh, rugby's the main sport there.
I was going to say, yeah.
You know, I had a few people questioning my decision at that point, but I think I made the right decision in the end.
And were you a big lad, or were you a skinny lad like myself, or?
Yeah, and just not a big lad, not a small, but like, you know, just normal.
Yeah, and then so you started playing for Cardiff, and then like, was the coaching good, or were you just really persistent, or was it a mix of both? Or
yeah, no, we had some great coaches at Cardiff, but it was quite lucky that, like I said, I started off playing for the Earth, and then Cardiff then started off their under-9s team. So our coach then sort of moved into Cardiff and brought all of our team into the Cardiff.
Really?
And then that's how we got going.
So listen, kids, if you live in the Wales area, you need to go and play for the Earth, because they're all going to get dragged into Cardiff City. And then you made your debut at 16. I mean, there's so many, like, especially at the Arsenal thing and the Cardiff thing, there was a lot of like young lads being brought into teams at around that time. I think the bigger clubs slowed down for a little bit after your kind of era. But like around then, there was a massive surge of young lads getting into big teams. I'm a Derby County fan, so I remember like all the. Don't look at me like that. I remember all like these. Like,
no, I've heard this. I've heard, yeah.
I remember like a massive surge of young players coming into teams, and I know that you said, you know, we were saying that you made your debut at 16 for Cardiff. That must have been like ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a weird, like, I was still in school at the time, and I remember one of my teachers coming up to me and was that I just had a phone call from someone at Cardiff City saying that they had to ask for permission for you to play on the weekend to be a part of the team, because I was still in school. So I was like no chance, like they would have just told me or wherever. So I've gone on my phone then at lunchtime. I rang my mum. I was like, what's this like? Apparently cut. And then spoke to my mum, spoke to my dad, and then my dad then rang me back then a few minutes later and was like, no, it's true, you're in the squad. I was like, what do you mean I'm in this? And I couldn't believe it, like, and I was just like, all the nerves started to kick in. How
long had you been playing? How long had you been like at least training with the first team for?
No, that's the thing. I hadn't really. I trained with them a few times. Like, I'd have a day off in school, you know, once a week or whatever, and then I'd go off and train with them, or train with some of the younger pros and things like that. But you know, I was never expecting it to be in that squad in that day, and for that to happen, and then for me to go out there and to become the youngest ever player to play for Cardiff, you know, that's what I've been striving for my whole life, to make it and to play professionally for Cardiff, and to achieve that and to break a record at a time. It was just, you know, it was surreal.
That's ridiculous. Like.
But then I walked back into school then next week. Mayweather.
Conor McGregor, do you know?
McGregor, sorry. Mayweather, what am I on about?
Oh, it's all right. Let you out. It's quarantine, man. You've lost the plot.
I don't know what day it is. I don't know what month it is. What.
So, like, in terms of, like, going through academy systems, like, and I'm sure you get asked this a lot, like, but I've obviously never heard an answer from you. You hear the obvious. Is it just like, is it the players that make it through into first teams, or are they like the most ignorant, the most persistent, the ones that want to like work the hardest? Like what is it? Is it a bit of everything? A bit of luck?
Yeah. I was obviously, because I was there for such a long time. I've seen so many, unbelievable players and talented players throughout all the age groups, and you were thinking, he's going to make it without question. He will go all the way, and he will be an unbelievable. But then you just kept seeing these sort of players going, like, fading away, and then all of a sudden on the team, not getting a new contract, and then there's a few of you that's left at the end then, and you realize then that you have half a chance. So I don't know. I think I was always determined, no matter what. That's all I wanted to do, is become a footballer. So I was so determined on that, and drilled into myself every single day, like, that's all I'm going to do. Would tell all my teachers. Everybody would laugh at me, saying, "Oh, don't come crying to me when you don't make it," and things. But I was just so driven in achieving that goal.
Yeah, no, I was the same. Like when I was younger, like I wanted to be good at school, but I had no like, and I did all right. I was like a B/C student. Like I was decent.
Yeah, I think same. Yeah.
But I just had like It's not like I was a little arsehole or whatever. But I was trying to be as good as I could at that. But I was just so interested in trying to make it, and I would come from a small town like yourself, and like trying to think, how can I get out of it? Even though I love this place, and even like more so now, like that I've grown up, I love the town more than I ever did. But when you're young, you're trying to get out of that small town system, and I remember like a couple of teachers and a couple of head teachers at the time sitting me down and being like, this is like, it's very tough industry to get into. You're probably not going to do it, blah, blah, blah. And that just drove me on even more.
Yeah.
Like at the time, I don't think I could afford like a French book or something like that. And he kind of sat me down and said a couple of things. And like after that, I was just like the most driven 15-year-old of all time. And just, yeah, like, so I completely agree with that. And then obviously you, like, I think if I'm right in saying, I've got some bullet points, but I remember like just from like watching Sky Sports and stuff like that. I remember you like signing for Arsenal for about, it was definitely less than 10, was it?
Yeah, no, it was 5.
5, yeah.
Yeah.
So like coming from Cardiff, like why Arsenal? Was Wenger a pull? Was he?
Yeah. No. It was sort of happened so quickly as well at Cardiff. I broke into the first. I played the final game of the season before, and then I had a pre-season, went off with the first team, played, and then we went on this mad cup run, got all the way to the final, and then that was it. Then after, it was sort of done within the year. So all my life I've been trying to achieve this of playing for Cardiff, and then the next thing I know, then I'm walking into a dressing room with the likes of Fabregas, Gallas, Torre. I'm 7th. I'm just like, what's going on here? I just felt out of place. But no, they were really cool guys. Made you feel really welcome and stuff like that. But still, like, you had to pinch yourself. And Wenger, like, he was a massive pull. He was, he gave youngsters opportunities. He talked me through how he saw my career path going and how he wanted to improve me, what I need to improve on. He brought me straight into the first team to train, every day with these sort of world-class players, and he believed in me. So I just felt really wanted and felt like he made the most effort to try and secure me.
And to be fair, that could be said for a lot of players around your era. He was like a pioneer, really, in that, bringing in young lads, yourself and Jack Wilshere and so many. And he did it for a long time after that, like Benicaphobe, and I mean, the list goes, when it comes to Wenger, the list of young lads breaking into the first team goes on and on.
Yeah,
which is insane when you think about it. And then, so what year was that?
2008, I think.
And then
so how old would have you been then?
2008. You're
still in school then?
You're 29, eh?
Yeah.
So I'm 27 this year. So you're only a couple of years older than me, Aaron. Get down, okay? Get down.
Yeah. So 17, you'd have been 15.
Yeah, I was just about to go for the X Factor.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Which is madness.
Yeah, so you've experienced it all the same as well, being thrown into the deep end at such a young age.
Yeah, and that's why I think these kinds of conversations are good, because you never really get to hear like two people that have done a similar thing talk about it. Obviously, I'm a massive football fan. I assume in some shape or form you're a music fan, whether it be mine or not. That's a different story. But I like to know the ins and outs of how you get to places and and things like that. But very interesting. And then you broke your leg in 2010, no?
Yeah. Broke my leg.
I'm sorry to bring it up.
No, it's okay. That I just started sort of playing regularly in the first team and playing well, and that happened, and it just knocks you for six, sort of thing. You just think, why me? Why's it happened?
I mean, to be fair to you, it was against Stoke City, so you probably probably should have expected it.
Yeah, well, yeah, you knew that, especially against Arsenal as well. That was their game.
Oh.
Kick lumps out of them. Throw the ball is like every throw into the area. Set pieces.
Was the lap playing in the time? Yeah.
I don't know. He might have been. Yeah,
it might have been just after that. Actually.
Or was it just after? Actually,
yeah, I think he was just after.
I think the season before he set up 2 goals from throw-ins.
And everyone was banging on about the lap throw again. I was a Derby fan, but we've had him throwing it in for years. The minute he left, we got relegated. No, but like Arsenal are a team that could absolutely pass you to death. And they're surely a job. If you're a Tony Pulis type character, your job is to get on them from minute one.
Yeah, I think especially when we're playing away as well. It was difficult for us to go to certain grounds, but that happened, and I was fearing for my career. I was only 19 at the time, so I was thinking that
it was a big break. There wasn't a double.
Yeah, so I broke my fib and tib, and it was all of these things. I'm in the ambulance. All of these things are going through my mind. Am I ever going to be able to walk again? Run, play. I've done all of this, and I've only just begun sort of my career. And then after a few days, then you settle down a bit, and then you get all the experienced doctors and specialists and things calming you down and saying, "Don't worry, you will make a full recovery" and stuff. So it was nice as well. You have messages as well from other people who have had similar injuries, and
anyone in particular?
Cisse. Cisse, he messaged me. So he had a couple, didn't he? So I had loads from all different types as well, like sports. There's a Formula 1 driver as well. It was nice as well. Like to be reassured again that you will come back.
When you
come back, have you had any injuries?
Yeah, I've got this bad boy from in it.
Whoa. How'd you do that?
I've got basically a genetic thing in both legs where my kneecap doesn't sit into its groove very well on both sides, and it just before I had the operation in 2014, I dislocated my knee about 8 times.
Oh yeah.
Got a kick playing football one day, and then my knee went out and just kept going out and out. And I remember walking down Oxford Street trying to turn into Top Man or something, and took the sharp turn, and my knee went out in the middle of Oxford Street. And so honest to God, just loose, elasticated, and I've only got little legs. Don't take the piss. And, I ended up having to go over to Colorado and had my knee done over there. But yeah, it was like any sort of injury. I think because we're so used to seeing football players get injured, we just say, it's fine. He'll be back in 8 months or whatever. And you don't see what goes on the inside. And I was lucky enough that I got to do my rehab at Chelsea. I spent every day for 4 or 5 months down there, and different experience altogether, but a good one. But yeah, no, it's a shame that at such a young age you went on loan at the time, no?
Yeah, to your rivals first.
Well, I didn't want to talk about that, but if you must bring it up.
But that didn't go to plan. So yeah, I went back.
How long did you last at Forest?
So it was just a month, but about 3 games got called off because of snow, because it was mad snow and stuff. So
you're better off.
Yeah, but I went back to Cardiff then. Do you know? I was thinking I went to Forest as well because I knew I had one of my best mates used to play there, so he was convincing me to go there. Chris Gunter was there, he was like, "No, come, you'll love it, you'll play." So he convinced me to go there, but yeah, and then I didn't manage to play as many games as I would have liked because I needed the games. I needed to get some sort of confidence back in my leg again, making a few tackles and stuff like that. So then I thought, do you know what? I just want to go back to Cardiff now, go home. I wanted to at the beginning, but then I thought, I don't want to go back and it to be, a failure or something like that. But I went back and we did well. I think I played 6 games and, we won 4 and drew 2. So I was happy with that.
That's a good loan spell, if you ask me. And then obviously, what by the way, what did you think of the Championship?
The Championship's tough league. I think,
tell me about it.
Yeah, it's so many games. There's so many teams that are, fighting for their lives. There's, every game is a fight. You get the few teams that are, I haven't played there for a while, but when I was there, you get a few teams that try and play at home, but then away from home, they're launching balls and things like that. So, it's very unpredictable. I think it's just a grind as well to, every week in, week out, you have to keep trying to produce and just trying to get 3 points, no matter how you're playing. And yeah, it's difficult. It's a difficult league.
And also, you literally have, if you ever had to have depth in squad, it has to be in the Championship. To try and get yourself promoted, you at least have to have mid-20s, players, 25 players.
Yeah, of course. There's so many games.
It is madness. And then you obviously went back to Arsenal when the leg felt good, and then it took off. Then you took off.
Yeah, it was. That was nice because went back there then, and got a start then against Man United, and that's when I really felt like I was back. When I scored the winner against Man United, one of the biggest games of the season for us. And I
can see the smile on your face now. You still have to be on it.
Yeah, because that was a moment for me where I felt like that I'm back from this and I'm good. So that was such a sort of it'll hold a special place for me, where that was the moment where everything was going to be all right again.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously you needed a couple of loan spells to trust your leg again. Trying to go in a couple of tackles in the Championship must have been a bit nervy. And then to go back and score against United, and then you won the cup that year, didn't you?
Yeah. So no,
a couple of years after that, maybe.
No, it was a couple of years after that.
Yeah. It took you about a year to get back, maybe was it, or so, and then a couple of loan spells. Yeah.
So it was about a 10-month injury where I was back fully fit to train, and then went out on loan and stuff, and then it took me a good year and a half, 2 years. I know I said that was the moment where I felt like, yeah, I'm back and I could play again. But it took me to get my confidence back, my feel back, the rhythm and everything. It took me a year or a year and a half really to fully trust myself.
So that happened in 10. You're talking about a couple of years after that, maybe a bit longer than that, but then with the loan spell. So you're back at Arsenal maybe end of 13 or?
No, so that, like, when was that? 2010, 2011. I was back then, 2012, 13.
Yeah, right.
I think. Okay. And then 13, 14 then was the season when I really sort of, yeah, it kicked off.
You won the cup that year.
Yeah, that was the year when we won the cup, yeah.
Literally, yeah. So, hold on, you won the cup that year. Do you not, like, you scored in that final? You scored in 2 finals out of 3.
Yeah.
Scored against Chelsea, scored against them.
Yeah, so, yeah, that season was just, you know, everything I hit was going in. When you're in that bubble, it's the best place ever to be because, you know, everything just seems to be dropping into your path or going your way or wherever. And yeah, we was top of the league. We were, you know, Champions League and things like that. And then Christmas time, I got injured. And then I tried to get back as quickly as possible because I was in such good you know, the best form of my career. I was like, I need to get back. We're top of the league. I need to help. I need to do everything I can to get back out there as quickly as possible. And then I had a few setbacks, and a 6-week injury probably was what it was. Ended up taking about 3 months because I just had a couple of setbacks. And then, yeah, so I missed the Champions League games. We didn't finish top of the league. But we managed to get to the FA Cup final, and then obviously to score the winner, that was just unbelievable.
Ramsey!
Because we waited so long as well to win some silverware. So,
but you went on a bit of a run after that, no?
Yeah, well, we won a few FA Cups and a few Community Shields and things, you know.
Yes,
but
just a few.
Yeah.
Leave it out. You want to? You scored in that one. I remember this because this was the start of the, like, oh, Wenger can only, you know, like, win the FA Cup and blah blah. People just, this was the start of, like, Wenger out period. Yeah. I remember, and I was always such a Wengerman, and I'm sure you are because he helped you so much. But you won the cup then the next year. Is that right? 14, 15, 17 were yours.
Yeah, we won it back to back, and then had a break, and then won it again.
Just a quick little 5-minute. Let me revert back to my phone for a second. I'm just going, all right, okay. Towards the end in England. This is what I've written down, towards the end in England. So literally I've written that down. So yeah, as you say, there was a two-year on the bounce, then a gap, and then won it in 17. But from what I remember, this was a good one, this one. Because it wasn't like, no disrespect to Hull or Villa. I mean, you're talking Chelsea on May Bank holiday weekend at Wembley Stadium in the sunshine and a winning goal.
Yeah, that was mad because Chelsea had just won the league as well. So, you know, they're full of confidence. They're on a high. Nobody gave us a chance, really. Because we hadn't done so well in the league. And, yeah, we finished outside the top 4. And, yeah, so everybody was like, but we were so determined to get our hands back on that trophy that, you know, we left everything out there that day. You know, it was boiling hot day, but after the game, people were just collapsing on the floor, and, like, they're emptied. They give absolutely everything. And, you know, I'm a big believer in that, you know, the work that you put in, you know, you need to put in every ounce that you've got to get the rewards. And that day, without question, we deserved that. I think.
It was an unbelievable, like, as far as cup finals go in recent years, it was an absolute banger of a game. There's nothing better than seeing like the coaches arrive in an FA Cup day, like the ones that we've watched all our lives ourselves. And then like never like I think it's lost its piece for some people. But if you're a big football fan like myself or yourself, the FA Cup's never lost its touch. And especially if you've got three of the little buggers at home, it must be a nice little feeling.
No, it's the best cup competition, you know. There is, I think, such a big history, and you know, you're pulling up to the hotel the day before and you can see, you know, Wembley, like the arch, and already the blood's starting to pump, the things are running through your head. You struggle to sleep, you know, you're up until 1, eyes wide open, like trying to envision how'd you say that word?
Envision. I don't know. Envision, yeah.
So yeah, it's just an amazing day.
Yes. And then obviously, bit of a from the outside, a little bit of a strange ending to your Arsenal career, but that's besides the point, because you'll obviously still go down as an Arsenal legend, and I'm literally just watching people like the football fans that are in here are popping up with, you know, Rambo, Gunner, he's always a gunner, come on you Gunners, all that stuff, which obviously must be a lovely thing for you. And I watched your speech the day you left, and it was a very emotional thing for you, obviously.
Yeah, that was tough. I wasn't, you know, prepared for that. I was just thinking, you know, I'm going to go out there, say my bit, and then I couldn't control anything. It was just pouring out. So, you know, it was. I spent 11 years there. I sort of grew up there when I left. You know, I started at 17. I grew up there. You know, I've been married, had my kids, you know, been through so much on and off the pitch there that it meant so much to me, that club, and always will. So, yeah.
By the way, as you said that, I literally got goosebumps. Because I think, as I said earlier on in the chat, like, we just get this perception that footballer, like, well, not I don't think we all get it, but we don't get to see a lot of footballers and like actually like get to see them like talk to them personally, and you just get to see them on a Saturday when they're like literally in tunnel vision mode, and that's it. But I just find it so interesting. But when you said that properly got me, because I supported a team with a very loyal fan base, and the shit that we've been through over the years. We should have been in the Premier League about 8 times in the last 9 seasons. We've never kicked it off, but I understand what it means to Arsenal fans and stuff like that, so I get it. And then how, where, why, all of these questions come. Why Juve? Surely there were multiple clubs coming looking. Sarri, pull, you know, the Serie A kicking off at the time. What were the reasons why you went over there?
Well, Juve, you know, is such a massive club, one of the biggest clubs in Europe, and yeah, there were other clubs interested, but you know, again, I just felt most wanted by them, with the history that they have, the players that they have. And they've, you know, the last few years they've done really well in the Champions League, you know, they're knocking on the doors. So I wanna try and help them, you know, play a part in trying to win the Champions League. So, and they're serial winners as well. Like they win trophy after trophy after trophy. So that's another thing that I wanted to achieve, is to go somewhere and be competing every single season for 2, 3, 4 trophies.
The joke, like, I mean, like, I'm sure the clubs that were coming looking for you weren't just pony clubs, but I'm sure there were some big clubs. But when you've got that, you can see the last couple of seasons, you can see Italian football like probably make a surge in Europe, especially with the likes of Juve. So I'm sure that was a no-brainer. What's the manager like?
No, he's good. He likes a cigarette. Doesn't he?
I tell you, he looks like a proper character, that fella.
No, no, he's been good. Obviously, he speaks English, so I can talk to him properly. No, it's been good. To be fair, it's a good group of lads as well. A lot of them speak English, so that's been helpful as well. Because my Italian's coming on very slowly.
No, I remember. To be fair, you gave a couple of words in your opening press conference.
Yeah, but that was all. I didn't really know anything. I was just memorizing it. But
you were like Steve McLaren.
What was this like again?
McLaren just started to speak a bit with the Dutch accent.
Yeah, with the S's, yeah.
By the way,
no, it was David Moyes.
David Moyes in Spain, yeah.
What was it?
Joey Barton in France.
And Joey Barton, yeah.
How you say
no,
it?
but I shouldn't be laughing because I'm just as bad as them at the moment.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
By the way, I just was looking at the bottom of the screen as we were talking about this. Do you know the name Ben Winston? Does it spring to mind?
Sorry?
Ben Winston.
No.
Ben Winston is a good friend of mine. He's quite involved in Arsenal Football Club. He's the executive producer of the Late Late Show with James Corden. Him and James are good.
Okay, yeah.
But he's a very good friend of mine. Good, lovely North London boy.
Yeah.
Huge Arsenal fan. I just seen him pop up there, and he said, "Niall Horan, this is your finest moment out of everything that you've achieved. Aaron Ramsey's interview is your finest moment." By the way, Ben has been very involved in my career over the years for us. So for him to say that,
cheers, Ben.
Come on, but yeah, so like obviously I'm sure you must be sick of answering the question, but there's some quality players like Dybala or Ronaldo that you get to play like in a midfield role with. Like, surely that must be unbelievable. I mean, you've obviously played with, as you said, like earlier, Torre, Fabregas, etc. Surely at 29, this is like you're like probably in the best physical you've been like in your career, and now you play alongside Dybala and Ronaldo and stuff like. How's that?
Yeah, we have like our squad is so big and so much quality in it. Is the strength and depth is a joke. We have three players from most positions, and it's not always easy to try and keep 25 players happy, but we to play alongside Ronaldo, Dybala, most of our team is just sort of amazing. It's so much easier when you play with them sort of players who just understand and who are winners and who are so technically gifted. Some of the goals that Dybala scored this season have been scary.
Been off the charts this season.
So, and then you've got Ronaldo, who Ronaldo just scores most games.
What's he like? Like in terms of, and I'm sure you seem to be a bit like this. Like I remember when I was doing my training at Chelsea, and I got to know Frank Lampard quite well, and even at 33, 34, he was pinging free kicks for an hour, hitting penalties. You hear of all these the players that have always been the best have been the ones that have dominated training and trained harder than they would in the game, or every training session was a game. The usual spiel. Is Ronaldo in any way, shape, or form like that?
Yeah, he's sorry, I got a few FaceTimes popping up.
No, don't worry.
But yeah, he's exceptional, athlete. He's first in the gym. He goes through his whole routine first, and then he's out onto the pitches. is a winner, wants to win every single game, every, small-sided game, whatever it is. So then he'll be out there, practicing his free kicks and things like that and shooting. So,
Fair play.
You don't need me to tell you how,
I mean,
how good or driven he is. He's unbelievable. He's one of the greatest in the history of the game.
I mean, it must be unbelievable to see it on a daily basis. But listen, you've won your fair share yourself. And that's the last person you want to be talking about. But like I was thinking, like, obviously yourself and talking about other big players that and you're friends with and stuff. Like, how about like Gareth? Surely you've had like a moment together. I'm sure there's like a facade of some sort where you're like, me and fucking Bailey boy over there. We grew up together. Surely you've had a moment over the years where, especially in the last few, where you just had a beer or whatever and gone, tell you what, this is unbelievable how this has turned out. We played football together when we were kids, and you're playing for Madrid and I'm playing for Juve. Surely at some point there must have been a moment.
Yeah, I've been trying to get him a beer for a while, but he doesn't drink. No, he's unbelievable as well. When he's in full flow, it's something. He's so powerful, so quick, taking on players, and then just banging goals in from all sorts of angles. So, but yeah, he's had a unbelievable career, and to go to Real Madrid and to score as many goals as he has and to win as many things as he has, to scoring, I think, a couple of Champions League finals, some ridiculous goals.
The bicycle.
Some of the criticism and things like that he's had is so unfair. He's done so much for that club and won so many things for them as well. So,
I mean, like, he's, as you say, he's won so much, but he's one of those that's been injured a few times and it's held him back, but it hasn't, because he's also turned up in the biggest moments in the biggest games.
Yeah, of course.
Surely that's how legends are made, in my eyes. We just stopped while we're on Gareth Bale and that. 26. What about the Euros?
That was just a mad experience there.
Because you were you were probably one of the younger players to play for Wales as well, I'd imagine, when you made your debut. Yeah,
but the thing is, I took John Toshak's record off him at Cardiff. So I think he didn't play me for a while there.
So you probably could have played at 15 and they held you off for a couple of years.
Yeah. Well, that's what I tell myself anyway. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, I'm sure Toshak's a nice fella. He seems like he's all right.
No. But I think I was 17 or 18 at the time. But yeah, the Euros was just some crazy experience. That it was just one of the best times ever as a footballer, and it would be hard to get some sort of high like that again. You're around some of your good mates for 2 months. You're with and then every game you're winning again. Like, what are we doing? We're finishing top of our group. What's going on? And then, okay, we're into the round of 16. Yeah, okay, we'll see how. No, we've won that. And then it just kept going, and the momentum, the country, it was just an amazing experience. Like,
we Ireland had a good run, obviously not to the extent that you got to the semis, but like, when countries are not used to being in big tournaments and you see them getting behind, and you were Chrissy Coleman's boys and it was kicking off, and I'm sure all of the bad days that you'd had in a Welsh shirt must have been like definitely paid off in those games, and feeling the Welsh coming after you everywhere you went across the country must have been insane. The power.
Yeah, we've had our fair share of like bad days for Wales. Oh, yeah. So yeah, to achieve what we had achieved in a short space of time, it all started when sort of Gary Speed took over and got the ball rolling. Everything was a lot more professionally run, and he got a way of playing again. So he got the ball rolling.
By the way, before you go any further, can we please talk about Gary Speed? Well, am I right in saying he gave you your debut?
No. John Tosher gave me my debut.
Gary Speed not too far.
But Gary Speed, he made me the captain, the youngest ever captain. So yeah, that was unbelievable to be for what he's achieved in the game as well, in the center of the park like me, and then for him to believe in me and trust in me and give me the captaincy at that age, it was just so nice for me to have that and have his backing, from such a legend like him in the game.
Was he as nice as they say?
Yeah, what a lovely fella, and he had got a beautiful family as well, and just a lovely guy.
Yeah, it seemed like anyone that I listened to, a lot of sports, a lot of footballers talking about what he was like when he was a footballer, what he was like off the pitch, and he just seems like one of the greats. And you can't ask for more, really, can you? When you've got a lad playing for your team like that, or just as a human in the dressing room, it must be amazing.
Yeah, he was a leader. He was a leader and a gentleman as well. So, it was a great combination, which made him what he was.
Well, what a career! What a footballing career you've had. It's been unbelievable. I can't wait to see what happens now with this. Hopefully, you can finish out the season, win the league. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad little move, would it, from Arsenal to Juve, win Serie A in an upcoming Serie A yet again, obviously. What about, we'll talk about something that we both love for a second. What about the Open being cancelled?
Right.
I love that reaction because I feel the same.
Right. I don't know what to, that's all I really watch is golf and football, and there's nothing on TV to watch anymore. I don't know what to do. That's why I'm drinking a Heineken here.
By the way, this weekend, I think because this would have been Masters weekend, they're replaying like Jack's win in '86 and Tiger's win in '97 and stuff like that. So fingers crossed for a good weekend.
Yeah. No, I don't. Hopefully we get out of this situation as soon as possible, and everything returns to normal, because it's difficult at the moment.
It's a sad state of affairs, to be fair. By the way, speaking of just thinking about Italy and thinking about Ryder Cups coming up, what would you have gone to the Ryder Cup in the summer, or would you have gone away, or what would you have done? I think it's in Whistling Straits this year, isn't it?
Yeah, but no, it's in September.
The Ryder Cup is a tough one for you, no?
Yeah, because that's why I only got to go for the last day last time. So because normally they're in September time and the season starts then. So I was quite lucky that the game fell on a Saturday, so I had the Sunday free. So I thought I'd come over and catch the last day there. So yeah, it's difficult, but I managed to get to Glen Eagles the 1 year as well, and then over to France. So unbelievable scenes. Are you a music man? What's your favorite event that you've been to?
I can't look too far past Paris.
Yeah,
I thought it was unbelievable. Having said that, though, I've been very lucky enough to have been. This would have been my 7th year at Augusta for the Masters.
Yeah.
As terrible and
that must be something special, though.
As terrible and as pig ignorant as that sounds, I know how lucky I am.
Yeah.
I've been invited back. I've been lucky enough to play the course a few times. I mean, it is just everything you imagined and 100 times more.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I watch it on TV, I don't even recognize it. It's that beautiful in real life. It's like people say it's like the Disneyland for golf fans, and I mean, it's just incredible. Augusta, the Masters, and the Ryder Cup would be 1 and 2 for me. I mean, I'm lucky enough to have been to a couple of Opens. It's special. You can feel it, especially I haven't been to one at St Andrews yet, but you can feel, that whole British Isles thing, which is very nice to feel. And the Open at Portrush was incredible. But Ryder Cup and the Masters would be 100%.
Yeah, I need to do the Masters one day. That's
Oh,
on my
Aaron,
bucket list.
come along.
I need to do it.
Come along.
Well,